So hey guys, so I've got the Western Digital blue 3D NAND to M.2 2280. So this would go inside the ACER SWIFT 1. I just opened the screws and I've aligned the screws there, and I'm going to open up the back cover. I've already shown a video how to open up the back cover, so I'm not going to do that again. So now what we have to do is the laptop is off, and I'm going to open up the ribbon cable, and I'm going to insert the SSD inside. So let's go ahead. The ribbon cable is open. I will take out the SSD, and there is a screw here that I would be required to remove. This is a star screw. Okay. I hope this is the right size. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I'm going to put the screw back so the hard disk seats perfectly inside. Doesn't have to be too tight. Then I make sure that the ribbon cable is back in, and now I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to check if the BIOS is actually detecting the, let me just put the back cover so it doesn't get dusty inside. At least just place it so that it doesn't get any more dusty. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put the screws in later. And okay. And either delete. It should be either delete for boot. Or F2. Okay, it's not delete. So let's just check the BIOS. The BIOS should detect the hard disk automatically, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just go ahead and check that. I'm sorry for the flash, but I just have it because my room is really dimly lit. So I don't know why it's taking a long time to restart. Well, just to let you know, so the operating system is still in the emmc. We would have to migrate that onto the SSD. So that's pretty much why. Okay, so we got there. So if you see, it automatically detects the hard disk, which is the WD 250 gig hard disk. So it is automatically detected. This is the first time I've put this in. I haven't changed anything. So yes, for now we're just going to exit this. Oh my god, my fingers are dirty. You just made smudges on the screen. So anyway, So the good news is the hard disk is being detected without anything, which I knew was gonna happen anyway, but we're just double checking in the BIOS anyway. So now let's move ahead inside, go inside and see if we're able to migrate the operating system from the emmc to the installed hard disk that we have. So I'm just going to couldn't recognize the fingerprint. Okay, there we go. My hands are a little dirty today, so that's why. So let's just go ahead and see if there's enough storage. Or do we need to actually check and see if the PC has... Okay, so it's not showing up here. I would probably need to go to manage, disk management, okay, see there is an unknown 232 gig 232.89 GB hard disk 0. So what we need to do is you must initiate a disk before logical disk management should GPT partition is not recognized by all previous versions of Windows MBR master boot record. Okay, I'm not sure about this, so I'm just gonna Google that up immediately and see what I need to do. I'll just let this be. I'm gonna pause the video for now. So I just found out that you can actually just use GPT. That's perfect because it's a newer partition table and that it works for Windows 10. So I'm just going to go ahead and use GPT. So unallocated space, I'm going to create a new volume. I'm just going to leave it like that just so that I'm just going to create it. What the hell? I thought I would just use it. Oh, I need to create two partitions if I'm not mistaken, C and D, so I'll just choose 150 gigs. So that's okay, 1 2 3 and then 150 and 3 zeros, right? 150 and 3 zeros. I was right. So I send the right drive letter. I can give a better drive. C and D, yeah. And D would be better. And there should be 86 of unallocated, which can be used for storage, which I would give as E. So yeah, now we have, sorry, I didn't realize we were not able to see the screen. So now we have two more partitions, so the new SSD is set, and we can move the operating system from this emmc to either of these. So I'm just going to give this a new name, SSD OS. So we'll put our unit. Yeah. I have administrative permission. So we're gonna put the new. We're gonna clone the original Windows that came with this onto this one. For that, I will just show you guys how to do it. So I just installed something called Macrim Reflect to actually help with the boot cloning process. So this should ideally remind me, do not remind me in 7 days. Okay, so this is a free version software, and this should ideally help me clone my hard disk onto the SSD. So let me just figure out how to do it because I haven't done this. Clone this disk. Let me see. Yes, I need to clone this disk. 58 gigs, so we need to clone this. clone this disk. So yes, I need to clone this. Destination, select a disk to clone. I would need to clone it into this. So I'm guessing I would need to delete everything inside that. Okay. Okay. And I would be dragging everything in. And we would still have all the space required. So the destination disk, the source disk is my emmc, the destination disk is my SSD. So I just drag and drop it, and there's still a lot of space in that left. So next, should I shrink it? Cloned partition properties. So partition 1, free space of 176 gigs. I need to split that, right? Yep. Partition 2. There should be auto somewhere, auto, yes. Type primary, okay. 2 partitions, 2 GB partition size, oh, GB. What am I doing? 150 gigs. Free space of 25. So guys, I've got the Macrium Reflect free version software. So what it does is essentially it clones the hard disk, as I mentioned earlier, from the emmc to the destination one. The destination is the SSD, being the SSD. So I've dragged these down, but there's still 174 GB that's needed to be filled. I wanted to give it a different drive letter. I'm not sure if that can be done in this, because I'm not able to find the properties to actually add another drive. So I'm just going to go ahead and clone it and see if I'm able to allocate the unallocated space as another drive letter, because I'm not able to expand the C drive. This is the maximum size of the emmc, so I'm not able to expand it any further. So let's just go ahead and do this, and let's hope that I will be able to make this into a D drive later on and do all the installations to the D drive. It will still be on the SSD, so it should be really fast. So because it reads 232 gigs, which is the SSD. So let's just go ahead and do that. Ignore the scheduling. So okay, I'm just going to go and see if I'm able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and not save the backup schedules as an XML backup, because I don't need that. And we're going to just run that now, and it's going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll let that run. Yes, so I want the SSDs to be overwritten. So it's going to clone this. It's going to take some time, so I'm going to resume the video once this is done. So the cloning process has been done. So basically, after this has been done, it just basically pops up with the new hard disk, and Windows will say, boom, you know, there's a new disk that's up. So you close this because this is done. You can close this, and so I'll just show you guys. So you go to this PC, and it basically has 2 ACER drives now. So the D drive is basically the C drive that's cloned, but it's residing. Okay, this is new. I have created that. I'll just show you guys how. So okay, So the 200, I don't know if you guys can see the 232 gig. This is the eMMC storage. Oh, sorry, this is the SSD. So in the SSD, the Acer has come up. I'm not able to increase the size of this partition because in the eMMC it's still 57 gigs, so it's going to come up as 57 gigs. That doesn't bother me much because there is still a new partition. I just had to go here and create new partition, and what that did is essentially it brought out the rest of the SSD. So I'm going to just say as storage, SSD storage. Yeah, so that is where I will be installing all of the other programs. So whenever Windows is going to ask me program files install, I'm not going to install it on D drive. I'm going to install everything on E drive. It's the same SSD, so it's still going to be fast. And I would just be booting it. So now we need to change the boot. So let's just close everything because it's done. And we would try to boot it up from the SSD. Okay, so we're going to try that. My hands are really oily, unfortunately, because I've just eaten a burger. So I'm going to try and not smudge up everything. So I think the boot button is the F2 button. So we're going to go ahead and wait for the F2 and F3. I'm just going to go press F2 and F3 because I'm not sure exactly which is the, yeah, so it's come up. And we'll go to boot. So boot priority order. Okay, so boot priority order, it's automatically coming up as the SSD. Its SSD is coming up in the boot priority order. The STC, so it's fine. So boot priority order is fine. I'm guessing it automatically changed the priority. I don't know how it changed, but let's just see. Going to check it anyway. So that's the first one. So exit saving changes, yes. So it should be booting up from the SSD now. Okay, it's working. I'm going to try the fingerprint. Your PIN is required to sign in. Okay, so let me just enter the PIN. So I think it's because of the oily hands that I'm not able to. So yes. So it's signed in and it should be running off of the SSD. Okay, so now you guys see that the C drive has been switched. It's now in the SSD. The C drive used to be the eMMC, so now it has been replaced. So we can go ahead and format the eMMC. So the E drive, I can just go ahead and delete that. Even we don't really need the eMMC anymore. So let me just try and delete the eMMC. So yeah, I'm not worried because I can reinstall Windows anyway. I don't have it backed up, but I'm not really worried about it for some reason. So even if it screws up, I can live with it. Okay, it says it's still in use. I don't know what use it's still what use is still there, because as per this, if I'm not mistaken, I'll just double check. Disk 0 has the C drive, and disk 1 has the emmc. It shows 58 gigs, so I should be okay. I should be okay. Okay. Delete partition. Yes. Yes. So I've deleted it. So yes, so now I just have the C and D, which is running off the SSD, and I'm going to try and restart it and see if it's still booting up from the okay, I'm just going to go to the BIOS again. It's F2, just so you guys know. So yeah, it's still the SSD. Exit saving changes. Booting up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna enter, could not recognize. Okay, it recognized. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So basically it takes 14 seconds to boot up. I don't know if this is fast or slow rather than the previous version, but I seriously hope that it's going to be much faster, because 14 seconds is not really that fast for boot times. Okay, it just gave me an ACER error. Shouldn't be much of a problem. So yeah, everything should work perfectly because it is cloned. I'm just gonna double check if everything works. Yep, Wi-Fi works, everything works, password works. So yeah, now you do have enough storage, and the computer is decently fast. And I'm just gonna show you guys again. I guess I shouldn't really have deleted the emmc, but that's pretty much okay. I'm just gonna new simple volume. I don't really need it, right? So I'm just gonna keep it that way. So it's booting up, it's working, and the SSD works. I have decent storage on it, and everything runs off of it. So all my files are still there. So everything works. So I'm pretty much happy. So that's it, guys. I hope it's not been too long a video because it's in 2 parts. So this is how you basically upgrade your ACER SWIFT 1 to run an SSD and to install an SSD and clone the operating system. So I'm just going to restart it again and see if the error persists. So this is the hard disk that I bought. It was $107 Canadian on Amazon. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys find this video useful, and subscribe to my channel if you guys like it. Bye bye.